It's so inspiring to see how much passion we as artists have while speaking about or performing our art. So brave of us to strip naked right before your eyes, our bare skin being revealed to you all, either dry and cracked or moist and glistening. We're so willing to reveal our heart's bruises, as if allowing you to see our pain offers us some sort of remedy. A healing mechanism you as listeners possess, most times unaware that you harness this ability to distribute. See, we use you as part of our healing process for whatever life's baggage unloaded upon us within that season. You are the psychiatrist, friend, and angel, all wrapped in one, all because you come and sit and offer your attention and your ears. And so I ask for you to give me the precious gift that is your ears, hearts, and mind. Allow my poetry to penetrate your mind, feed your spirit, change perspectives suggested from your experiences, experience me. See, as artists, our smiles leak through these hollow metal mics. Our tears drip through the sound waves that carry our voices to your ears. We are freedom speakers. Speaking freedom into our burdens, setting our pain free as we shout our emotions on the blank canvases of your faces. Let yourselves undress under the testimonies of my poetry. Uncross your arms, giving me clear aim at your heart. And don't be too afraid or too stubborn to relate. We search your demeanor for some kind of confirmation that you're feeling exactly how we want you to feel. So roll your judgmental eyes to the tips of your scalps and allow your ears to hear me, to heal me. Thank you. I love to open with that poem because it gives me a chance to get set in and just unravel in front of all of you. And it also gives you a chance to see things a little bit from my perspective when I step on stage. One thing I've noticed about my poetry is the foundation of all of my poems, no matter what I've written about, is love. I could write a poem about text messages, Black Lives Matter. I could write a poem about space, but I guarantee you the foundation of that poem is love. I believe that that is the case because my faith is a big part of my life, and it's a part of every single thing that I do. And so my relationship with God is all about love. So it makes sense that the foundation of my poems are all about love. And so in this next poem that I'm about to share with you all, I just encourage you to search for love within this poem and then relate to it. See, I always thought submission was synonymous with slave. That it meant speak when you are spoken to. That it meant my role as a woman was trapped in a tiny box and defined for me. But in the fall of 2013, I met a man. And the beauty in his eyes a blind man could see. It took me one peek into his brainwaves and I was hooked, smitten. But my attraction to him was way more than his handsome beard that stems like a wildfire from his chin. It was more than just his soft smile that made me weak. It was how he made me feel like together we could inspire the world. We danced circles around reality, and during those first months of our love, we didn't live here. We created a world that revolved around us, and without even forcing an effort, our souls became intertwined. Have you ever had someone learn you on purpose? Love you on purpose? Take his time to peel back your flaws like an open sore and seek to heal the source of destruction. That's what Chris did for me. We sealed our new love with a title somewhere between the 19th and 20th of January, and the patterns of our untold novels began weaving themselves uncontrollably. And for months, we found ourselves caressing their patterns and stuck in a daze at their beauty. But May rolled around. One thing led to another, and our relationship took a test that neither of us saw coming, and just like that, the world we created that revolved only around us rained down fire and brimstone. One test shook our foundation, but it was my response that sent it crumbling. See, that world was no longer about us. It was about me and my heart and my mind, and this is my body. I ripped down those patterns we once caressed with my selfish perspective, stopped him from healing the source of our destruction, and covered my flaws and broken bandages with bandages from my past. And we both stood there, me, broken and bandaged, watching our world fall around us. See, I didn't understand that relationships are about we. We needed to pass that test together. We needed to research those answers together, but I was afraid. Because to me, we meant submitting my will to someone else, allowing them to choose my course of life, letting them have a say in how my feet would move through this path. And right then and there began my battle with submission. You see, submission is a word that has been misused and abused by this world. It's been judged by people who are too ignorant to see its beauty, mocked by those not strong or humble enough to respect its order, and hated by those who feel silenced by its misuse. The struggle of submission has caused countries to go to war in defense of those who are physically crippled by its misuse. And from an extremely close and personal experience, I have witnessed its absence destroy relationships, marriages, lives. It has the power to humble the mightiest of kings, but when misused and abused can crush the purest of souls. I have seen it crush the purest of souls. I have misused it to crush one of the purest of souls. So from that May to a year and a half later, I dug for truth. I said, God, show me where my heart was at fault. And at the end of all my digging, there it was in plain sight: submission. See, God told me that what I needed in any relationship to make it work was to be submissive, especially in my relationship with him. He told me that I needed to respect submission, but to first respect it, I had to understand it. So understand that submission is not slavery, is not weakness, is not silencing the voice of those perceived to be weak, not quieting the voice of those who are hungry to be heard. It is not belittling the roles of a woman or a man. Submission is not control. He taught me that rebellion to submission begins when there exists a distrust, and that's what I was in, complete and utter rebellion. And whether or not the actual fact of distrust exists, it was selfishness that corrupted our beauty of submission. See, submission, when done the right way, is a reciprocal exchange of love, a constant flow of servitude, obedience, and leadership. And with true submission, we'd have no space for self-righteous dictating mentalities. We'd be equally yoked through our leadership head of one flesh. And that way, those of us with convictions in our spirit to submit would have no need to be starving for our words to give birth through our mouths. And me, being a woman, I needed my opinions to be caressed to the surface with no need for touch. And the human hands to which I submit my will must be worthy. And although I didn't know it at the time, Chris was worthy. See, I was lost in the misconception that only women need to be submissive, and men just will use submission to bound our feet and our voice. But a real man will understand that his role has the ability to lead, with understanding that submission and self-love are inseparable. You see, he knew that. And God allowed him to teach me that. See, submission is treating your opposite as equal and seeing that he is a reflection of me and I of him. And what sane woman or man would choose to destroy himself or herself? See, submitting to him was not my problem. Trusting him was. Loving myself enough was. And submission is not a problem. It's a solution. It's love, self-love. Thank you.